Hello everybody, this is Mithril Zenith. Welcome to Diablo 1. However, this is not Diablo 1 as you would normally play it. No, this is a Diablo 1 Level 1 Hell Run. To begin, I am starting up this character who I have gotten to level 30 on, and my goodness, trying to get 15 million experience, 15.5 million experience, takes forever. But it's done, and by loading into Hell difficulty, exiting out, and bringing back straight into single player without leaving the game client, I'm able to play on Hell difficulty in single player, which is normally not possible. And I'm able to start at level 1 instead of level 30. So what class are we doing today? So the warrior, trying to kill anything as level 1 as the warrior is literally impossible. Just can't be done. Rogue, I'll get back to the rogue in a minute. Sorcerer actually has an easier time early game. Normally early game sorcerer is the hardest time for the sorcerer, but has an easier time because spells don't require a chance to hit. Where the sorcerer falls off is ironically where the sorcerer wouldn't fall off in multiplayer is late game. Because late game you have to face triple immunes, which are monsters that are immune to lightning, fire, and magic, and so you have to hit them in the face. And for some reason Stone Curse as well works on them. But single player, you can't guarantee yourself getting the right spells, the right equipment, the right things that you need to fight them. Whereas in multiplayer, it doesn't even freaking matter. You can just pick up whatever spells you want because everyone dupes everything, and you can load the game a million different times and reload the game. No, Diablo 1 is a roguelike, and it's kind of meant to be played like this. Granted, I'm going to be using a lot of saves, whatever. So Sorcerer, once you get into the caves, it's really impossible to play, and I just don't, I'm not about that life. Rogue, on the other hand, has always been my personal favorite. The arrow machine gun, as I call her. Early levels are going to be absolutely brutal, as well as the start of every new level is really tough because she needs areas to run behind, run back, run around, strafe, that sort of stuff. Once I figure things out, though, once I get some levels underneath me and once I get a good bow, then Rogue's gonna be sitting pretty. So that's where we're going. What is a name, anyway? I don't know. Welcome to Diablo 1. For those of you who haven't seen it, it is grid-based, old school, slow, progenitor of the ARPG, but not really much else. You might be saying, oh, this doesn't look like Hell difficulty. Well, that's because items in the shop are determined by your base level and not by...
Thank goodness you returned.
they're determined by character level and not by
here,
actual
friend.
difficulty.
All was peaceful until the Dark Riders came and destroyed our village. Many were cut down where they stood, and those who took up arms were slain or dragged away to become slaves, or worse. The church at the edge of town has been desecrated and is being used for dark rituals. The screams that echo in the night are inhuman, but some of our townsfolk may yet survive.
No, they don't.
Follow the path that lies between my tavern and the blacksmith shop to find the church and save who you can. Perhaps I could tell you more if we speak again. Good luck. Thank goodness you...
No one's gonna survive. There's no one alive. I'm not even gonna be alive. Let's be honest here. So why am I playing on Hell difficulty? And actually what changes? Because in Diablo 2, higher difficulties lower your resistances. Not so in Diablo 1. In fact, all my stats are completely unchanged. Well, primarily it affects the monsters. Oh, no butcher. So Diablo 1 also has certain tables that it rolls things off of. Tables that it rolls quests off of. And the Butcher, it's either the Butcher or... The Butcher is one of the pick two of three quests, I think. It's either the Butcher, Garbad the Weak, or the Ogden Sign. And we also had normal water, which means we're getting the Skeleton King. Yeah. Anyway, enough meandering around. Let's get to the point.
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
Oh, traps. Open the traps. Potion of mana. Cape. Yeah, that's going to be helpful. 2 armor. Ooh, wow. And welcome to Hell difficulty, where you can't hit darn near anything. Could you die, please? Could you get hit once, please? There we go. There's one. You're going to be hearing that a lot.
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
Yeah, we're going to be saving a lot. Like I said, early game's going to be awful, but if I can get past... Oh, there's 3 hits. So I need the map. The attack rating system is a real piece of work. Don't hit me like that. Welcome to what it must be like for your average townsperson to fight a monster. Wow, I dodged. And my cape is almost destroyed already. Oh, he's on the other side of a chest. Maybe I could just, like, strafe around that thing. Hitting him. He's not dying, but I'm hitting him. I don't like this thing. You may even be able to hear how rapidly I'm clicking, because you can't hold down the button to do stuff, you have to click. I mean, you can hold down the button to move, and that's about it. I think maybe I just strafe around the sarcophagus. This was clearly not how the game was intended to be played, by the way, but you will see why I'm doing this in just a moment, as soon as I can kill this guy. One monster, come on. Kill this dang thing. I'm doing 1 to 6 damage per hit. I thought that these level 1 monsters didn't scale up that high. Apparently I was wrong. Oh, come on. It's a single fallen one. I got so lucky in that there's only 1 monster here. Because normally, there's like 2 or 3. I am exceedingly lucky that there's only 1 right now. Because that means I can actually do this and fight it. I took a risk and it didn't really pay off. And also I'm hitting shift a lot, so that way I don't just stupidly charge into his face whenever I am not clicking on him directly. And also I can kind of lead my shots to trace where he's going. If the arrow crosses through his square, then a roll to hit is rolled. It's my chance to hit against his AC, and oh dear, now we have a skeleton on our hands. Please die. Please die faster. Please. Could I get a kill, please? Man, I'm gonna put like 50 points into dexterity after this. Just give me some chance to hit, please. Chance to hit and bow damage. Minimum damage on bows. Well, that wasn't very productive, was it? There's 1. Count with me. You know, I'm not even sure when I'm going to be cutting this, or if I'm even going to be keeping all this in. This is literally going to be the hardest part. Hey, it's like when I played Fire Emblem with Zero Base. What? What? Did I just kill him in 4 hits? And yes, I just got 16,000 experience from a single kill, and went up 4 levels. I need all that chance to hit right now. Give it to me right freaking now. So there's a skeleton down here somewhere. There you are. Yeah. So this is hell difficulty. Enemies are stronger. Enemies have, you know, higher stats, more armor, harder to hit, deal more damage, more accurate, more hit points, more resistances and immunities, which in Nightmare mode isn't the case, but in hell difficulty it is, turns out. That's really about it. Different enemies don't start showing up, really. Enemy drops are better. In fact, the dungeon drops that are rolled are just better. There's another kill. There's another 16,000 experience and 2 more levels. Yeah, I'm going to be leveling rapidly until I hit probably about 20. I just need the dex right now. More dexterity, and then I can worry about getting stats like strength or magic. Unlike other games, your stats... Unlike Diablo 2, where you level up, you get different skills as you level, and your stats are kind of an afterthought. Just to hit the minimum requirements. Oh, Magical Shrine. That casts, what's it called? What's that term? Mana shield. Yeah. Yeah, unlike Diablo 2, where your stats are kind of just, okay, just dump into Vitality, and that's it. You just get the minimum requirements to equip whatever gear you need. In Diablo 1, your base stats actually matter. And the different classes you have not only determine your starting stats, but determine your max stats. Every class has one stat they can get to 255 in. For Warrior, it's Strength. For Sorcerer, it's Magic. And for the Rogue, it is Dexterity. Oh yeah. See, this extra Dexterity, these like 50 points now that I put into Dex, are gonna help so much. See, I actually hit things. I hit things now. My chance to hit is 90%, minus any armor they have. I didn't mean to close the door on myself as I walked in. Yes, and everything's dropping like 400 plus gold in single drops. Because once again, this is scaled to be... this is scaled 1 for multiplayer and 2 for, you know, around level 30. Spirit is vigilant, the body thrives. Each of these different shrines has different effects. I used to have all the shrine effects memorized, now I just have a decent number of them, the most common ones that pop up. I do need some strength in order to use better bows, if I find any. Yeah, magical casts that. Yeah, casts. And yeah, this is what I meant by level 1 monsters not scaling very well. Because on every dungeon level... Ooh, Stone Curse already. Nice. On every single dungeon level, it's randomized what monsters you face. Except for level 1. Is this the one that casts Infravision, or is this one that changes stats? Changes stats, okay. Increases one, decreases another, at random. I think the murky pool that casts Infravision. But yeah, the strength and the dexterity has now made me able to do stuff. Fancy that. By the way, I am playing on the Good Old Games release. Digital release. It is so good. I can actually see things. It's not locked to... was it 640, 280? Oh wow, an elixir. Do I want to use that elixir right now? Maybe I want to save it for the gold it's worth. I might just use it though. Yeah, elixirs are a permanent increase to a stat by 1 point. Let's get that vitality back. We basically successfully reversed the effects of that Fountain of Tears. And with no real ill effects because we wanted that point of dexterity anyway. I might have left it if it was a point of magic, but then again, I might really need magic in the future. It really depends on if I can get any good spells. 2 that I'm going to be looking for are Stone Curse, like the scroll that I just got, and Firewall. Firewall... Maybe this is just me, but there's nothing... Okay, no, not nothing. Few things are more satisfying than good firewalls in Diablo 1. It is such a wonderfully good spell. And Great Helm requires 50 strength. Better get buff. Yeah, what was I saying about the monsters? Yeah, level 1 monsters... every dungeon level rolls randomly when you create the game between 2 and 4 different monsters that it will have. Sometimes it'll have multiple monsters of the same type, sometimes different. Generally, if you're on level 2 or higher, you will almost always roll at least 1 unique, which means you also roll the monster type for that unique. And each unique can only appear on certain floors, which is why it's important that, you know, different monsters only show up on different floors. Floor 1 is the exception because instead of being randomly given like 2 to 4 monster types, you always have scavengers, fallen ones, skeletons, skeleton captains, which are different. Scavengers, fallen ones, skeletons, skeleton captains, and zombies. You will always have those 5 monster types. Why those 5? Probably reasons. As you can tell, I'm getting a lot of stuff I can't use right now. I need better stats. For those not familiar with Diablo 1, you get books that have your spells in them. And every class has the exact same spell list. What is the scavenger doing? Yeah, the low-level AI is deliberately stupid in certain ways. The skeleton AI is actually the smartest. Of course, the skeleton AI literally just charges straight for you, so it's pretty easy to set up a trap like, okay, if you set up a firewall, they will charge straight through the wall of fire. Fallen ones, if you kill another monster, it triggers a flee AI for, 2 or 3 seconds. Scavengers have a chance to be distracted by corpses and just kind of sit there and eat the corpses. Zombies just move very, very slowly. And yeah, skeleton captains are simply skeletons. And as you get deeper into the dungeon, the AI gets smarter, the AI gets more advanced, as well as the monster types just get stronger, having more resistances, more ways to attack. Like, skeletons, the melee skeletons just charge for you. But there are also archer skeletons, which can appear as a monster type that can be rolled. And I think they also always appear. If you roll a skeleton type, you'll also get archers. I don't know if it's always, but really commonly. You can get archers, and they are actually pretty dangerous because they will never move. They literally stand still the entire time. They will only move if you start getting close to them, or if some random thing happens and they decide that they want to move. But 99% of the time they won't, unless they're like following a unique, which they may or may not move. Oftentimes they'll just camp in place. It can be really annoying. Hey, Scroll of Golem. I'm I'm getting scrolls of spells that are good. See, now that I finally killed one thing, I'm starting to level up pretty quickly. By pretty quickly, I mean, I'm already up to almost 1,000,000 experience points. Welcome to level that was designed for level 30. And so in Diablo 2, some people might be familiar with this, there is a minimum cutoff for experience. As in, if you're under level 25, you get severely reduced experience from monsters that are higher than level 25, I think. 25 or 30 or something. Higher than a certain level, monsters will give you significantly reduced experience up until level 25. And then that's where the minimum cutoff ends, and you just kind of go from there. Diablo 1 doesn't have a minimum level cutoff. It will scale down the experience you get from monsters as you level up to kind of force you to keep, you know, facing tougher and tougher monsters, not just keep reloading the game and fighting the first few levels, which is really good for farming gold, as you might see, because they're just sheer number. Unless the earlier floors are coded to give you more beneficial things like shrines and bookshelves, whereas later floors give you things like, well, they don't really have shrines, or they have cauldrons, which are totally random shrines, which you can't tell what they are until you activate them. And then, so you're stupid and you click on one, and then it takes away, like, 10% of your mana. And over the course of doing that a couple times, you now have no maximum mana permanently forever. Like, you're down, like, 200 from where you should be. Yeah, that was what happened on my character who I was leveling to 30. Because I was solo leveling a multiplayer type character in order to get this set up. And it was fine until I hit level 25 or 26, and then the exponential experience gain just gets out of control. Yeah, let's keep going. Dex build. Get at least 100%. Because once the enemies actually start having armor, it's going to be harder to hit them. Gonna have to deal a lot more damage. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the level 1 monsters. Ooh, traps. Rogue can detect and sometimes open traps. Chances based on her dexterity compared to the dungeon level. Generally, traps aren't that bad, but they can be annoying. Cryptic. I think that's a good one. I think this one increases dexterity? No, refills mana, cast Nova from person. I remember that at least that it was a positive one. I may not have remembered what it did, but I remembered it was positive. And I love that this mana shield just lasts until I go to town, or until my mana runs out. Mana shield's one of the better spells in the entire game, but nothing has my heart quite like Diablo 1's Firewall. It's just so good. Yeah, anyway, what I was saying. The monsters scale up hard in terms of Nightmare and especially Hell difficulty. But the first floor monsters, the monsters that are coded to always be on the first floor, specifically these versions of them, Basic Skeleton, Basic Zombie, Basic Fallen One, Basic Scavenger, scale up much, much less than other monsters. So even though their experience gain is still on par with other monsters, their actual difficulty is a lot less, which enables someone like me to just kind of go around killing all of them as soon as I have some minimum benchmark requirements. And that's floor 1. Let's go down to floor 2.